How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Scarlet, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Today we've got loads of rumors, leaks, everything in between to talk about, so sit back, relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get started. I'm going to kick things off with this post here from Soul Silver, who talks about what we found, one of the posters actually, in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that nobody talks about, which was posted by Light88. Shout out to Light, by the way. He says, I probably found the third Koraidon Miraidon. I don't want to name it, but this one should be Genzaidon. Now it's confirmed that there is a third academy called Blueberry Academy, so can this Pokemon be from there representing the present? Which is true, yes, this thing is very interestingly, does look like a Cyclizar of sorts, which is interesting, and of course, again, it is possible that we might get another Cyclizar-looking design, because, I mean, that's what Koraidon and Miraidon are. They're paradox forms, right, of Cyclizar, which is a real, genuine Pokemon that isn't a, form of anything. So is there another version of this that exists within the Blueberry Academy? Because we know the Blueberry Academy is underwater, and inside of it will exist pretty much a whole world. A separate whole world will exist inside of it. So is it possible that we have another Cyclizar? Well, we'll have to wait and see if that is the case. Next, though, is a big one. So this is coming to us from Soul, who says, September 20th, 2022, get it, cool, and a four-letter word, AL. Now, what is this? Basically, well, what we got a while back from Koo here, who used to be calling himself Fashionable Hat, Riddler Koo, he basically tweeted out a picture of a Terrastall Hatterini, a Terrastall Sudowoodo and whatnot, and a Clang Clang, whatever. But they all look different. They all kind of look like how Megas changed the design of a Pokemon and how Gigantamax changed the Pokemon versus Dynamax that doesn't. Dynamax only makes the Pokemon larger, but Gigantamax makes it actually different. And he has been telling us, Koo has been telling us, a genuine leaker about it. If you don't know who Koo is, Riddler Koo, he's a genuine, real leaker who gives actual information. Well, guess what? He specifically, he has emphasized to us many times there's going to be a brand new feature, and that feature is connected to Terrastall. Here's what he says. One of them is different. Which one? And he says, since you were all spoiled with this, yep, Mega is the only one that's exclusive to a limited amount of Pokemon, while others got both public and privileged facets of the Pokemon selection. So it says here, so you're confirming this leak as real. Does that mean we're getting a second batch of DLC and a Switch 2 is coming? And he says, focus on what we gave. And then, we had a few different theories here. And here was Eclipse saying M6, M6.2, ZM7, D8, and GM8, GM8.2, T9, T9.2. I mean, it's so clear I can laugh. They're similar to that mechanic you love so much, but not the same. Basically, what we're talking about here is that the Terrastall is going to get a new form, There's going to be a new form of Terrastall that we don't know. And it actually is mentioned even in this real leak. If you guys don't know, this is a genuine leak over here. It's a real leak. We've covered it a few times already. You've probably seen a lot of YouTubers covering it. It's a genuine leak. And here's what Soul says. What's hilarious about this is even the machine translation left a little/big riddle in this leak. Can you solve it? And here, basically, if we look through and we just go through the whole leak, I'm a programmer at the Pokemon outsourcing company, blah, 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 blah. The theme of the DLC is Hidden Treasure Area 0, which is true. Then it talks about the rewards. It will include these Pokemon and a mystery Pokemon with a green appearance, and then special Terrastall appearance. That's the point that's important here. Basically, we're going to get not Megas, We're not going to get Mega Evolutions, but what we're getting is the same principle as Megas, right? Think about what Terrastall really is. Terrastall just adds a level of typing to a Pokemon, an extra typing, right? Which then makes certain moves stronger, like the Terra Blast, etc., whatever, right? Makes those specific type moves stronger and gives them stab, plus if your Pokemon has a, there's a bunch of elements to it. But the reason we're even mentioning this, the reason I'm bringing it up, is because what we're going to get here is Terrastall on very specific Pokemon with very specific typings. And I'm guessing what that means is, for example, if we have a Sudowoodo with a grass type, that Sudowoodo might get a let's call it TERAMAX. This was actually a developed name by somebody in the community. I don't remember who. I'm so sorry. If you do watch this video, you can comment down below being like, hey, I invented TERAMAX, naming scheme. I just don't remember. I'm sorry. But the person in the community actually came up with the idea of Teramaxing, which would basically be the equivalent of what Gigantamaxing is to Dynamaxing, right? Instead of the Pokemon just becoming large, or in the case of Terrastall, instead of the Pokemon just Terrastallizing into a specific type, it would instead also change its appearance to match with that type better, right? How Megas change the full design of the Pokemon. And we already kind of had an idea that something like this would happen because he's been hinting this. Riddler Koo, the genuine leaker, has been hinting this for a long freaking time. So The only thing is, we didn't get it announced here. But remember, they didn't even announce everything when they first showed us Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC. Not everything was shown. Even when they initially revealed Scarlet and Violet, not everything was shown. We didn't see Terrastall until way later in, a trailer. So just keep that in mind. Either way, there's also some other stuff right here. He says, does a Pokemon with a special Terrastall appearance need to have a specific Terra type? And he says, should go like this. Yes. Hope it's a decent amount of new terraforms. I'm also hoping that Paldean friends are in the DLC. He says there is a decent amount. And then here, of course, we have this whole thingy, which is, this is definitely not another Paradox Cyclizar. It's probably nothing but a Blueberry Blue is pretty sus. I wonder if it could be. And again, I do think it's possible, personally. So I will say that. So will we get a brand new, feature, basically? I mean, we're going to call it a brand new feature. The same way that we call Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing two separate things. Because Dynamaxing is just a Pokemon becoming large and strong, but Gigantamaxing is becoming large, strong, and changing its appearance, which is an extra element, right? So are we going to get a TERAMAX thing? It could be called TERAMAX or Terraform. Holy shit, that's a good... Oh, wait a minute. Now it actually made me think about something. If you actually look at what was being said by Riddle here, if we actually look at this, it was a four-letter word, and then A and L. I don't know if A and L is in there, but could it be Terraform? Could it be Terraform? I don't know if that Terraform would make the most sense, but again, we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. TERAMAX most likely will fit the best. Either way, we have a big thingy to talk about here as well, which is revisiting this again, based on speculation and current rumors, not insider knowledge. So this is kind of a prediction from Central Leaks. If you don't know Central Leaks, they're an aggregator website. They aggregate tweets and information and leaks that come out from others. They don't actually post their own leaks. They just kind of aggregate info. And I just want to point that out so people don't get pissed off. But either way, here's what he says. 2022 Gen 9, well, obviously. Late 2023 Gen 9 DLC Part 1. Early 2024, but that's incorrect, though, because I think the website said winter 2023 for the second part of the DLC, so I don't know what to say. Either way, it says early 2024 Gen 9 DLC Part 2 plus Switch 2 update. Late 2024 experimental game, cross-gen Switch and Switch 2. Could be a remake, and 2025 Generation 10, which, yeah, makes the most amount of sense. And then, of course, you had an extended version down here, which was Generation 10 plus DLC and Black and White remakes in 2026. Again, we've had a lot of conversations where this could go, and there is a further kind of thingy right here. Assuming the leaked Pokemon list is right, there will only be Pokemon that haven't yet appeared in the Switch games. If you actually look at, the list of returning Pokemon. And interestingly, the only Pokemon that are not returning is going to be the starter Pokemon of Pokemon Generation 5. We're not going to see them. We're not going to see Patrat. We're not going to see the elemental monkeys. We're not going to see any of those guys returning. These 15 Pokemon are the only ones left that are not available on Switch. Literally the last Pokemon that will not show up anymore, which is intriguing to say the least. And then of course people are saying, just assuming, oh, maybe Black and White are actually happening. And Sensor says, it's interesting. We previously said it was impossible for Black and White remakes to happen this generation because we need a new console. And usually that means waiting a generation. But if the rumor that Scarlet and Violet will get an enhanced for Switch 2 is true, then that changes things. Well, an enhancement doesn't inherently mean that much in reality, I guess. But I mean, yeah, it could be the case, right? We'll have to wait and see if this develops any further. Then we also have this right here. So this is coming to us again from Century. It says, Kood, the well-known Pokemon leaker, has confirmed this leak is real. Looks like Switch 2 is coming. And of course, this leak is the following one that we already talked about, where the poster actually added a extra element here at the bottom. It says, on the poster of this post, for identification, here's the original, information. I'm not going to leak any more information. I just want to add some clarification to the previous one. The Hexagon is not the third DLC title, but an element that's displayed many times in the DLC. That special Terrastall appearance I mentioned is a new game mechanic that was not announced in the I guess preview or the trailer. Some Pokemon will acquire new Terrastall forms. The new Switch model is I mentioned is a something. As far as I know, DLC 2 is scheduled to be released in early 2024. Other contents have already been announced. Sorry for the unclearness. So again, this leaker is confirming that we're not going to get that, those two DLC parts in the same year. We're going to get another part next year, which I guess January or something, which, that's a long wait, man. That's a long wait. Man. We're going to be dead for content for a long time. It's going to be so dry. which is really, really, oh, I don't know. But either way, we have another piece of information from Century. Says a sequel to Detective Pikachu 2 movie is coming according to Deadline. Will be directed by Jonathan Krischel. So yeah, I don't know. This was apparently canceled, but now it turns out, it looks like they're in motion again. Plans are in motion again for this movie, which is weird because we recently talked about how this movie just is dead in the water. There was no updates on it. Next up is this right here. Okay, fam, something is going on right here. And this is basically a massive post from Ray here, who's a Japanese person, who managed to kind of dissect a lot of the stuff that was on the, like, Legends Arceus, like, what do you call them? Like, Legends Arceus, I guess, items and shops and buildings, like text that was on there, that then is all also featured in this giant, board, which tells a story about this kid with those 3 new legendaries and the 4th new legendary, like the one with the green mask, sorry. So it's interesting that there seems to be some sort of connection between all this. Again, I don't speak Japanese, so unfortunately I don't have full context on this, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that if there is some translations on it. Next up, though, is a bit of a theory and a little bit of a breakdown here. So this from Soul Silver says, obviously Kitakami is 100% based on Japan and its culture, but I'm on the side that believes it's located in the northeast of Paldea. Why? The biggest hint to me are, 1, Kitakami being translated in various ways and languages as north, which is upper/god/east. We know for months about this unused, marked off northeastern area in the game's code. The land that borders the unused area in the any corner of Paldea is a huge hint. Its music and landscape completely changed to Eastern/Asian themes. Why would this be in the Spanish region? And there's mountains littered throughout this area. Kitakami could be on the other side of the border at the base of these mountains. I mean, it's literally the only place you can get Bisharp, who evolves into a Shogun Pokemon. Yeah, wow, that's actually true. Why was there a Shogun Pokemon in this game? Doesn't make much sense if you really think about it. The Treasure of Ruin was said to have been brought from the east. I know they mean Chinese, but Game Freak obviously mixes cultures and origins all the time. Lastly, in a bit of a stretch, Carmine, Italian, and Kieran, Irish, are from Kitakami and still have more European names. True, very freaking true. Yeah, it's actually very true. The land of Kitakami, Kita equals north, Kami equals upper. Lots of different meanings, though. There is also a real city called Kitakami in the Tohoku area of Japan. And then, of course, if you look at that, again, that top eastern part here, it's literally perfectly mapped off to be where it's supposed to be located. It just makes total sense. And according to Kuroblitz, it says the official German pages calls Kitakami by a province. Heck, even Kitakami's name is mainly in English. It's Noroteo in Spanish, Nordivia in Italy, and Sptentria in France, all meaning North God. In Japan, it's Kitakami no Sato, aka the neighboring land, which literally makes sense, okay? It just makes total sense that this would be all connected and related to the Paldean region right next to it right there. I said this from the beginning. This makes total sense. It would be weird for them to send us all the way to, to another location. I mean, listen, even the Blueberry Academy, okay, which we assume is going to be somewhere out in the water, right? Somewhere out in the ocean. Even that makes sense with Spain and with like Spain and Portugal, because it's basically an island. They just decided to go all out on the island theme, right? And just make it a artificial island. But inside of that island, because that school is massive, okay? It's like, clearly there's going to be land inside of it that we can explore that's artificially being created. And I'm wondering, it's probably based on Atlantis, okay? The city of Atlantis, and also based off of the islands that exist that are all, controlled by either Portugal or Spain that are owned by them, right? So whether that be Canary Islands, Madeira, Ibiza, whatever, all that's going to be mentioned there too. I'm pretty freaking sure. So again, this is all speculation as of right now. And here's what Soul says. Of course, it could be wrong, and they scrapped this unused area entirely, and Kitakami will be on a whole new map, and they'll make, or that area is Kitakami, but it's not physically attached to Paldea in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet lore, or literally in the game. The bottom line is, he says here, the bottom line is, where is it? The line is, this is Pokemon World, not a one-to-one representation of our world. It's all fantasy and can be changed as its creators see fit. Also, Kalos returning is dead, lol. Sorry to all who believe that. Well, I'm glad it's kind of dead now, so we don't have to think about it anymore. I can just move on to other things. And again, we already talked about this subject, so let's go over to another thingy here from Makio and J Roses, if this can load, because there is still some stuff I want to talk about. For example, you guys have already maybe seen these files were found in the game, which are interesting. It's stuff that they removed, which is clearly related to the, to that. There's going to be a new DLC gift, system in the game, which has been found in the code. We already talked about this in the last video. And I think we just mostly have a few different theories here from Umino Tami that we have not gone through, which I think are worthwhile to talk about, because there's quite a lot of them that we just haven't really explained. So I'm going to go through some of these and see what's happening here. So, for example, here we have a whole breakdown from Umino Tami, who says, Kizuna, this implies a group cohesion and trust, but originally it was a rope used to keep horses and cattle from running away. In Pokemon, it was often used in Mega Evolution, so the trust energy between people and Pokemon meant genies and ropes. So basically, these thingies that are attached to the Pokemon right here, almost like a leash on a dog, right? Kind of like that. Either way, he continues on here. Momotaro's mates are tied to the rope, right? You guys can see right here, the trainer actually, controls them. Most interestingly, Momotaro seems to be able to use the Pokeball, but at this time, the dogs are not equipped with this rope. Indeed, if he catches it successfully, no rope is needed. Who is holding the ropes with these dogs? Well, maybe it is the fourth green legendary, the one with the mask. When they were with Momotaro, they did not have the rope of trust, but when they were treated as masks, heroes, they're equipped with the rope of trust, so they were basically controlled. I do not know if the ropes they are equipped with are genetic form information, but if the ropes occur when they are heroes, they may have a similar system in their bodies to Mega Evolution. Chickens are said to become more docile when held. Goku's ring is a deal that gives him a headache when he does something wrong, and of course, you got a leash for walking dogs. So again, interesting connection, interesting theories, and the fact that they are not even present, those thingies are not present on these drawings right there, is interesting as well. But nonetheless, I think it's worthwhile to bring up and talk about. So again, your guys' theories and stuff would be appreciated on this. I think for the most part went through most of that. Also, here's another one. Apple candies are the most popular food during festivals in Japan and Taiwan. Yes, it might be the Spider's Web Cafe this time. So basically, we know that there's going to be, this new place we're going to is going to have a connection to apples. And we know that manzana, which is mentioned in Scarlet and Violet when you go take on the Elite Four, is the word for apple in Spanish. And, we've been talking about there being an Apple Academy, Manzana Academy. So maybe this is probably going to be the academy we're going to here in this distant land on this, little expedition and whatnot. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that actually, pans out and how that turns out. But, thoughts and opinions will be appreciated, because even here, Soul goes into this, right? Which is, in the Teal Mask DLC, we'll take a school trip in collaboration with another unnamed school featuring apple orchards. We see apples in the trailer. I'm convinced Kitakami is where the Manzana Apple Academy mentioned in our league exam is located. But why didn't they reveal this academy in the trailer too? I think it's because it may be an academy with a secret, important to the plot that they don't want to reveal yet. Maybe it's an academy with a bad reputation. I think it may be directly connected to Ogrepon and the tale of Momotaro. Kitakami or its academy may be the equivalent of the Oni Island, home of the demons, that Momotaro goes to conquer. I think Rika has it on the exam as a cheeky joking option, right? Which you see right here, which is the Manzana Academy being mentioned, right? Which is interesting, because you got Naranja and Uva, which are the genuine ones you play with in the game. But then there's Manzana Academy, which is just strange. But nonetheless, you guys' thoughts and opinions would be appreciated on that. Let's continue on. So we have a few other theories here on, for example, the new beasts, what they're based on and all that. We have loads on that, and yeah, I think for the most part we've gone through some of the most important things. We of course have the fact that the island literally looks like the new legendary. But again, not really much to mention on that. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for watching. If you guys did enjoy it, drop a like down below. Thank you so much for coming through, for watching this video, for enjoying the content. Make sure to subscribe. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers on this channel, which is freaking awesome. We're trying to hit 10,000 this year if it is possible. It would be really awesome if you guys could help us get there by just simply leaving a subscription down below and leaving a like if you enjoyed. And of course, comment your thoughts on all these theories down below, and let's see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.